platforms that have revolutionized our understanding of social media, politics, and culture. His work has not only caught the attention of tech enthusiasts, but also that of royal watchers. He was featured in the Netflix series about Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. But Bouzy wasn't merely a talking head. He was there to shed light on an issue that has been plaguing Meghan for years, the relentless online hate campaign against her. Bouzy didn't just make claims, he backed his statements with cold, hard data, a true testament to his analytical prowess. But his brush with the royals didn't end there. This year, Bouzy found himself in the crosshairs of the British tabloids. Why, you ask? Because he dared to question the authenticity of a series of photos of the Princess of Wales. His analysis was simple, yet profound. None of this makes any sense, and we're being lied to. And guess what? He was right. Now the British tabloids are on the offensive once more, using Bouzy's alleged connection to the Sussexes as ammunition. They're trying to paint a picture of hypocrisy, suggesting that the Sussexes, who are trying to help parents who have lost children to online harm, are in league with Bouzy, the man who dared to criticise the beloved Kate and the British tabloids. The Mail even went as far as to compile all of Bouzy's comments on the Windsors, almost celebrating his critiques, while simultaneously suggesting that the Sussexes have somehow radicalised anyone who sides with them. Now, let's dig deeper into why the British tabloids are attacking him. So why is Christopher Bouzy under attack from the British tabloids, you might be wondering? Well, there are a few reasons. First, let's look at his connection to the Sussexes. Bouzy was featured in the Harry and Meghan Netflix series for his data-driven analysis of the online hate campaign against Meghan. His findings were eye-opening and revealed a pattern of targeted attacks that many found disturbing. But it wasn't just his work on the Sussexes that caught the attention of the tabloids. Earlier this year, Bouzy raised eyebrows when he began questioning the authenticity of photographs of the Princess of Wales. His analysis was simple and straightforward. "None of this makes any sense and we're being lied to," he stated, and many agreed. His skepticism and refusal to accept the narrative presented by the British media did not sit well with the tabloids. They saw his questioning as an attack on their credibility and began to retaliate. Bouzy, who doesn't shy away from speaking his mind, became a target. His connection to the Sussexes only added fuel to the fire. The tabloids started to link Bouzy's criticism of their coverage to the Sussexes, implying that they were somehow behind his actions. This brings us to the next chapter in this saga, the Sussexes' new Parents Network initiative. The couple's aim is to support parents who have lost children to online harm. However, the tabloids are twisting this laudable initiative to fit their narrative. They're arguing that the Sussexes are hypocrites because Bouzy, who they've linked to the Sussexes, was critical of Kate and the British tabloids. The tabloids have taken Bouzy's comments on the Windsors and spun them to suit their needs. They've used them to stir controversy and attempt to discredit both Bouzy and the Sussexes. It's a two-pronged strategy. They want to publish Bouzy's criticisms to stir the pot, and they also want to suggest that anyone who supports the Sussexes has been radicalised by them. But how does this connect to the Sussexes' new Parents Network initiative? You might be wondering. Stick around for the next scene to find out. The Sussexes Parents Network initiative has been making headlines lately. This new endeavour by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle aims to provide support to parents who have tragically lost children due to online harm. The initiative reflects the Sussexes' commitment to addressing the darker side of the digital world and its impact on mental health, an issue they have been vocal about for quite some time. However, the British tabloids have been quick to spin a different narrative. They argue that the Sussexes are hypocritical for supporting a cause that fights against online harm, while also associating with Christopher Bouzy, whom they perceive as a source of online harm himself. This argument stems from the tabloids' interpretation of Bouzy's critical comments about the British royal family and media. These tabloids are painting Bouzy's criticism as harmful, even offensive, and are trying to tie it back to Harry and Meghan's initiative. The argument here is that the Sussexes, who are advocating for a safer online space, are in cahoots with someone who, according to the tabloids, has contributed to the toxicity of that space. This narrative, however, seems to conveniently ignore the fact that Bouzy's critiques are based on data-driven analysis not mindless trolling or harmful cyberbullying. The tabloids have taken this argument a step further by insinuating that anyone who sides with the Sussexes has been radicalized by them. They are attempting to paint a picture in which the Sussexes are the leaders of a team that promotes online harm, a claim that seems to be more of a sensationalist headline than a reality. These accusations are part of a larger narrative that the British media has been building against the Sussexes and their associates. They are using Bouzy's analysis and criticism as fodder for their narrative, while simultaneously trying to undermine the Sussexes Parents Network initiative. Now, let's look at what Bouzy has to say about all this. Christopher Bouzy has been vocal about his views on the British royal family. His comments, often sharp and insightful, have garnered attention from both supporters and critics alike. Bouzy's observations are not driven by an allegiance to any royal faction, but are rather based on solid data and a keen understanding of social media dynamics and cultural narratives. In the past, Bouzy has taken aim at the British media's royalist propaganda, questioning its authenticity and fairness. His remarks have been a thorn in the side of the tabloids, who often portray the royal family in an uncritical and excessively favourable light. For example, he's pointed out inconsistencies in the media's handling of the alleged disappearance of a princess, suggesting that the public was being misled. Bouzy's comments have not gone unnoticed by the British media. In fact, they've meticulously compiled a list of his remarks, almost as if they're playing his greatest hits on repeat. This might seem peculiar, but there's a method to their madness. On one hand, the media seems to relish the opportunity to stir up controversy by publishing Bouzy's criticisms. It's as if they're using his words to fan the flames of royal intrigue, all the while claiming neutrality. On the other hand, they're also attempting to insinuate that Bouzy, and by extension anyone who shares his views, has been influenced by the Sussexes. This narrative is designed to portray the Sussexes as puppet masters, subtly manipulating the discourse around the royal family. It's a clever tactic, but one that Bouzy has been quick to debunk. In truth, Bouzy's criticisms are not the product of some royal conspiracy, but are rather the result of rigorous analysis and a commitment to truth. His comments may be uncomfortable for some, but they're rooted in concrete data and a desire to challenge the status quo. As you can see, Bouzy's criticisms are data-driven and focused on the truth rather than personal bias. As we've seen, the attacks on Christopher Bouzy are more complex than they first appear. This isn't a simple case of the British tabloids picking a fight. It's a demonstration of how they react when someone challenges their narrative with hard data and thoughtful analysis. Let's take a moment to remember the key points. Christopher Bouzy isn't a Sussex pal, but a data-driven analyst who's made his mark by scrutinising the social media landscape. His criticisms of the royals and the British media aren't born out of personal bias, but are founded on meticulous data analysis. The tabloids' hostility towards Bouzy has been magnified because of his perceived connection to the Sussexes and their Parents Network initiative. They've tried to paint the Sussexes as hypocrites, arguing that Bouzy's criticisms of the royals are at odds with the Sussexes' aim to help parents who have lost children to online harm. But let's not forget that Bouzy's comments on the Windsors have been spot on, from pointing out the royalist propaganda to highlighting the chaotic palace messaging. His criticisms provide a much-needed counter-narrative to the British media's portrayal of the royals. In the end, what matters is not the tabloids' attempts to stir up controversy, but the fact that thoughtful, data-driven analysis can help us see beyond the headlines and the spin. Thank you everyone for watching the video. Remember to leave a comment and show some love by subscribing and sharing the video. I'm your loyal host, Kelly.